He could do whatever he want to do with that footage. So now that footage goes to the highest bidder.
And look what he did to Little Rod. He threatened him. Oh, you don't think I bust my gun? I shot up the club in Club New York and let Shine take the fall for it. I shot them people.
After the explosive documentary Sean Combs' The Reckoning, produced by 50 Cent and Eric, dropped, Diddy and his crew have been in full panic mode trying to erase every trace of it. The film didn't hold back, exposing shocking details about Diddy's double life and his slick, snake-like ways that had everyone talking. People couldn't stop asking the same question. How did 50 Cent even get that secret footage Diddy never wanted the world to see? Well, Diddy's former bodyguard, Roger Bonds, finally spilled the truth, and what he said had jaws dropping. Apparently, while 50 Cent was at Club 11 in Miami, he got a mysterious package. And inside was a chilling message. It wasn't just any gift, it was a straight-up death threat.
I'm getting to this, yo, Bonds, yo, man, yo, how 50 get, blah, 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 yo, Puff, take this self doing that. Let me explain something to y'all. All right, whether it's NDAs, whether it's whatever. When these young boys come in, first of all, he only deal with young videographers because he want to rob them, and he know that they want the opportunity to follow Puff Daddy, P. Diddy. They want that opportunity, so they get him at a low price anyway. But when you stay out so many hours a day, Puff wants a videographer with him 24 hours a day on call. Whether we on a yacht, whether we on a ship, wherever we at, he wants to videotape that, right? So now, they come to agreement. They come to whatever the pay is gonna be. But then it be so many hours on that invoice that he don't want to pay. He gets in touch with the office. He gets in touch with the chief of staff. Yo, what is this I'm paying? What is this I'm paying? You know what you paying. You was outside all of these hours. It's 160 something hours in a week. You was outside 140. That's the invoice he put in. So now, being if you got a contract and he don't stand to that contract, guess what happens? He could do whatever he want to do with that footage. So now that footage goes to the highest bidder. And 50 had to be the highest bidder to get there. Yo, this is business. You know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't in love with you. Everybody ain't dedicated. Everybody ain't loyal to the point of stupidity. Trust me.
If you know what pushing up daisies means, then you already know how serious that is. Even locked up, Diddy's still flexing his power, proving that fear of him doesn't stop at the prison walls. What's wild is that Diddy didn't clap back when 50 joked about him wanting to take him shopping. But once the documentary aired, that's when things got dark. Diddy allegedly sent 50 Cent a bouquet of daisies, a twisted symbol that he's now a marked man. 50 posted online saying, "What kind of ish is this? Diddy sent flowers to me at Club 11 LOL. All that foreplay, get busy. You know I'm stupid." He even added, "A warning? I'm from the 90s, Grammy. You don't warn me, LOL." But behind those laughs, people could feel the tension. Because when it comes to Diddy, the streets whisper about more than just threats. They talk about the bodies he's hidden and the people he's allegedly silenced. Things took a wild turn when agents from Homeland Security raided Diddy's mansions in both LA and Miami. And what they found was career-ending. Inside, investigators uncovered stacks of recordings, hidden devices, and hard drives packed with shocking, incriminating material tied to multiple celebrities. These weren't just home videos. They were dark receipts that could take down powerful names in the industry. But that's not all. Federal investigators are now digging into a series of shootings that reportedly trace straight back to Diddy himself. What's crazy is how many of these incidents got quietly buried over the years, almost like someone wanted the truth gone forever. But here's the thing. One quick online search pulls up evidence that matches the whispers, proving this story runs deep. Now, let's get into what people are calling the Diddy shootings. This isn't some rumor mill. There are actual survivors out there, and their stories are terrifying. One of the most recent cases went down inside a Los Angeles recording studio, and it allegedly involved none other than Diddy's own son, Justin, who some online have labeled the devil's offspring. A music producer named Rodney Lil Rod Jones, who worked on Diddy's last album, is taking the fight to court. He's accusing both Diddy and Justin of being tied to that 2022 studio shooting, along with disturbing claims of harassment that have been spreading like wildfire online. According to court filings from February 26, Lil Rod claims that between September 2022 and November 2023, Diddy drugged, harassed, and threatened him while forcing him to travel and live under his control. The lawsuit, filed in the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of New York, has cracked open a scandal so dark that it's shaken the entire music industry. Lil Rod didn't just drop vague claims. He gave chilling details about what allegedly went down during a producer's camp at Chalice Recording Studio in Los Angeles on September 12, 2022. He says that night turned into absolute chaos and things got violent fast. According to him, Diddy's son Justin was there, along with a friend identified in court papers only as G. That's when everything spiraled out of control. In his lawsuit, Lil Rod accuses Diddy of running what's being described as a RICO enterprise, meaning a network of people working together in criminal operations. For those who don't know, RICO laws are meant to take down organized crime, the kind of charges used against mob bosses. The fact that Diddy's name is now being linked to something like that is absolutely wild. This complaint adds to Diddy's mountain of legal troubles, with several new lawsuits stacking up, many of them involving disturbing accusations of violence and assault. But what Lil Rod described in this case feels like something out of a movie. He claims that after a heated argument broke out inside a bathroom at the studio, gunshots suddenly rang out. When the door swung open, Diddy and his son reportedly walked out, looking tense. And that's when Lil Rod saw G lying on the floor, curled up in pain, clutching his stomach and hip while bleeding out. Lil Rod says he rushed to help the injured man and dragged him toward the front of the studio, where an ambulance was already waiting outside. So far, the Los Angeles Fire Department hasn't released any statements about that night, despite repeated requests for information. But here's the real bombshell. Lil Rod claims that Diddy personally told him to lie to the police. He says Diddy ordered him to say that neither he nor Justin had anything to do with the shooting, insisting that G got hit outside the studio. If that's true, then this wasn't just a cover-up. It was an attempt to rewrite the whole story while the blood was still fresh. According to Lil Rod, the story that G was hit in some random drive-by is straight up false. He's standing firm, saying G was shot inside the bathroom at Chalice Recording Studio, not outside like the so-called official story claims. What makes things even more suspicious is how silent Chalice Studio has been about the whole situation. Word is, they might have been paid off to keep quiet, refusing to release any of the surveillance footage that could expose what really happened. When NBC News reached out for answers, the studio allegedly responded through an unnamed representative, offering a very shady statement. They insisted the shooting happened half a block away and called it a robbery gone wrong. The rep supposedly told NBC there were police reports confirming that version of events and even warned the public not to defame the studio's reputation before all the facts were out. Doesn't that sound a little too rehearsed? Chalice went even further, claiming that once LAPD arrived, officers supposedly determined that the shooting didn't happen inside at all, saying it conclusively took place down the street. But the lawsuit tells a completely different story. Lil Rod's filing says police were inside the studio, saw blood all over the bathroom, and still agreed to go along with the false narrative that the shooting happened outside. That kind of cooperation between cops and a celebrity's camp screams corruption. Adding even more weight to his story, Lil Rod included screenshots in his original court filing, showing what he says is the aftermath of the shooting inside the bathroom. The images reportedly reveal the chaos and the blood-stained scene where G was struck, allegedly by either Diddy or Justin Combs themselves. And here's where things get even wilder. Lil Rod claims he still has the exact clothes he wore that night, and those clothes may contain DNA evidence from the victim. If that's true, it could completely destroy the cover-up narrative and blow the whole case wide open. This isn't just scandal anymore. It's starting to look like a full-blown conspiracy hiding behind studio walls. According to the filing, when police finally arrived at Chalice Recording Studio, Diddy and his son Justin were nowhere to be found. The document claims they had already slipped out and were hiding in another studio nearby, laying low while officers searched the scene. Once the cops cleared out, guess who reportedly left first? Diddy and Justin. like they couldn't wait to disappear before anyone started asking real questions. On February 27th, representatives for Justin Combs released a fiery statement, completely denying every claim made in Lil Rod's lawsuit. They called the allegations absurd and full of lies, warning that anyone spreading defamatory statements about the Combs family would face serious legal backlash. Of course, that's classic lawyer talk. Deny, deflect, and threaten lawsuits before any truth has a chance to breathe. But this isn't the first time Diddy's name has been tied to gunfire and chaos. Let's rewind back to December 27, 1999, when a nightclub shooting nearly destroyed his career and sent shockwaves through the entire industry. That night, Diddy, still going by Puffy back then, was out celebrating at Club New York with his then-girlfriend Jennifer Lopez, partying over the upcoming release of his protege Shine's album. Everything was glitz and glamour until one split second turned it into mayhem. Witnesses say Diddy, holding a bottle of champagne, accidentally bumped into a man named Matthew Scar Allen, knocking his drink out of his hand. Scar, known in the streets, didn't take it lightly and shoved Diddy back. Tension exploded when one of Scar's friends allegedly threw a wad of cash in Diddy's face, and that's when gunfire broke out inside the packed club. 3 people were hit in the chaos, and Diddy and J-Lo were both arrested after fleeing the scene in a Lincoln Navigator with a gun hidden in the trunk. What was supposed to be a night of celebration turned into one of the most infamous scandals in hip-hop history. And it wouldn't be the last time Diddy's name got tangled up with violence and controversy. Jennifer Lopez was cleared from the case almost instantly, but Diddy wasn't so lucky. Witnesses at the scene swore they saw him holding the weapon, and even his own driver testified that Diddy tried to bribe him into taking the blame. Still, with a superstar legal team led by the legendary Johnny Cochran, Diddy managed to escape conviction, all thanks to a strategy that left the courtroom spinning in doubt. During the trial, one of Diddy's lawyers dramatically told the judge, "I don't know if you know this, Your Honor, but Jennifer Lopez is a very famous actress. To think Mr. Combs would be walking around with her carrying a loaded gun? That's so ridiculous it stretches the imagination."
Hey, how you doing? So, here today about this latest lawsuit with the P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Puffy, Sean Puffy Combs, whatever you want to call him, lawsuit that has come out involving the producer Lil Rod. So basically his last 2 lawsuits, or last 2 major lawsuits, the one with Cassie, she made mention that Puffy made her carry his guns into nightclubs and wherever they went. And he threatened her to make her feel like she had to do so. And while there were lots of things of importance, that stood out to me. And I'm going to tell you why. In this lawsuit with the producer Lil Rod, they were both SA'd by him and threatened and physically harmed. But in this lawsuit, he appears to be a very young producer to me. But he said something very specific. As a means of threatening him, Puffy said, "That's why I shot up the club in New York back in 1999 and let Shine take the fall for it." Let me tell you why that's of utmost importance to me. Because I am the woman who he shot in the face in that 1999, December 27th, 1999, Club New York shooting. I have told everyone ad nauseum since then, even the surgeon who did the surgery to take the bullet. I got shot in my face with a 9mm hollow point bullet called a cop killer. I literally have told everyone and never changed what I said. I watched him. I got pow-powed in the face. I watched him fire the gun. I've said it all this time. Even the surgeon who did my surgery to take out part of the bullet fragments that was aspirating into my lungs and try to remove as many bullet fragments as possible testified in the criminal trial that while they were putting me under, I was screaming, "Puffy, pew pew me in the face." He testified in the criminal trial. It is in the record. They all knew he did it. Everybody knew he did it. But he paid off the club bouncer named Sharice and all these other people and the club owners with their video to hide the video. That's his MO. I told everybody that. This man almost took my life, has traumatized my life, has caused undue harm, irreparable damage to my life, lied his behind off. I've had all these youngins on the internet harassing me, swearing that I'm making it up that he did it. And look what he did to Little Rod. He threatened him. Oh, you don't think I bust my gun? I shot up the club in Club New York and let Shine take the fall for it. I shot them people. Well. It only took 24 whole years for it to come out. You see this tattoo? This commemorates me getting shot. It took 24 years for him to come out and say it. I've been saying it all along, but y'all pick and choose who y'all want to believe. Oh, baby, you ain't seen nothing yet. Not only did he pew me in the face, he also set off a course of harassment against me for the past 24 years. When I tell you the things I went through, there was a time in 2017 and 2018 where I got 7 flats on my BMW. 7, the same tire, in a 2-year span. 7 on the same tire, and they were all new. Every time it happened, I had to get a new tire. I have the pictures to prove it. Harassing me. You want to know why? Because prior to Cassie, I was the only person to be victimized by him and then to successfully sue him and get paid. And he had to pay me out of his pocket. He has never gotten over that. Oh, baby. You see this RICO charge that's about to come? This conspiring and pew-pewing up the club and ruining or attempting to ruin my life? As God as my witness, I will not stop until you suffer every single iota of punishment, until I have every second of recompense that you took from me. For every tear that I had to cry or my children had to cry, I am going to get $1 million back from you. I will not stop until you pay the price for what you did to my life. And for all you people out there on the internet and in cyberspace and in the far reaches of my life or the perimeters or wherever who always like, oh, she just saying that to get some. Hell, what you got to say now? What you got to say now? I had some youngins on the internet that ain't even old enough, that weren't even alive when it happened, arguing me down, cussing me out, calling me everything but a child of God. Go check Instagram. It's there. Harassing my life. Harassing me. Oh, you lying. He ain't do that to you. You just want clout. You just chasing clout. What is that to chase clout about? How is that clout chase worthy? It doesn't even make sense. Well, I guess it would make sense in this new generation. But you better believe I will have my say. I will have my say. Hashtag having my say. Hashtag the dopest nerd ever. Hashtag Eb Talks. Y'all ain't seen or heard nothing yet.
The jury apparently agreed, and just like that, Diddy walked free, while someone else took the fall. That someone else was none other than Shine, Diddy's 21-year-old protege at the time. He ended up serving almost 9 years in prison for assault, gun possession, and reckless endangerment. Behind bars, Shine reportedly fumed, saying Diddy sold him out just to save himself. It was one of the biggest betrayals the rap world had ever seen. After his acquittal, Diddy tried to shed his old image by switching up his name to P. Diddy, claiming he wanted a fresh start and to leave the chaos behind. But the violence didn't stop haunting him. Matthew Scar Allen, the same man from that 1999 club fight, was later shot and killed at a Brooklyn nightclub called Footlights, sparking whispers of revenge and unfinished business. Meanwhile, Shine reinvented himself, embracing Judaism in prison and taking the name Moses Michael Levi. Years later, in a shocking twist, he and Diddy publicly reunited at Paris Fashion Week, acting like the past was water under the bridge. But the peace didn't last, because one of the original shooting victims has recently stepped forward, boldly naming Diddy as the real trigger man. This revelation has reignited the controversy that just won't die. At this point, it's starting to look like Diddy might actually be bold enough to put a hit out on 50 Cent. The warning signs are already there. The man literally sent flowers as a threat, basically saying, "I can reach you anywhere." That's not just petty drama, that's power being flexed in the most chilling way possible. By sending those daisies, Diddy wasn't just trolling, he was sending a message. It's like he's telling 50, don't forget who runs this game. And honestly, it makes you wonder if 50's really as calm as he looks, or if deep down, he's just a little bit shook. Still, 50 Cent isn't exactly someone to mess with either. The guy's got serious money, heavy connections, and a reputation for never backing down from a fight. So now everyone's watching to see how this wild situation plays out, especially with that new documentary exposing everything. If you haven't watched The Reckoning on Netflix yet, you gotta check it out. It lays everything bare. The secrets, the power moves, and the mind games that Diddy's been running behind the scenes. And here's the thing, this old school gangster move of sending flowers instead of bullets, that's pure psychological warfare. Diddy knew exactly what he was doing with that one. It wasn't random, it was personal. Sending daisies of all things was a slick way of saying, you're next. Whether 50 laughs it off or claps back, one thing's for sure, this feud just got way too real. So yeah, it's clear as day. Diddy's trying to send a bold message straight to 50 Cent. You can see it plain as day. That flower stunt wasn't random, it was personal, and the timing couldn't be more suspicious. This whole situation feels like something out of a movie, and the tension between these two powerhouses is getting way too real. Now I want to know what you think. Do you believe Diddy's really trying to intimidate 50, or is it just his twisted way of playing mind games? Drop your thoughts down in the comments. I want to hear everybody's take on this crazy story. And hey, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss any of these wild updates. Make sure you share this video with your crew so they can join the conversation too.